to Renew US. It is something that is done every Tuesday night, an authentic online praise and worship experience. And from time to time, we bring live guests on board. And tonight, we're actually pre-recording this because YouTube is not functioning. So we are recording this and we'll replay it, whenever YouTube comes back up. But we're fortunate from time to have special guests appear here with us and to share about their ministry or their testimony or something of spiritual importance in their Christian walk. And tonight we welcome back Dale Didway. I won't try to, now you can either pronounce it or you can spell it. But you can't do both, okay? So, Dale, we followed up. We spoke with you a couple of weeks ago, and today I find out on Twitter that you have encountered, get this, folks, the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Dale, what did Coach Tomlin have to say?
Coach Tomlin is a great person to talk with, and he was in a good mood because his Steelers had just won, had just beaten the Bengals with 10 seconds to go in the game. So he was in a good mood. He's a very passionate man. But I sat through his press conference because I was actually wanting to get with Ben Roethlisberger, which I was able to do after the game for a few moments. And everybody had cleared out. The clubhouse, the locker room was almost empty, and I was waiting on Ben. And Coach Tomlin walked, come out close to me, and at first I didn't recognize him because he didn't have his hat on, because he always wears that hat down close, and I thought, oh, there's Coach Tomlin. So he was walking by me, and I just said, hey, Coach, I appreciate your involvement with it's called Our Underground Railroad, and it's an organization that deals with the sex slave industry, and they go in and rescue kids from the sex slave business. And it's a pretty intense and in-depth group. And he just walked by and said, hey, I really appreciate what you do with that. And he stopped. He says, thank you. He said that it's an incredible fight that we're taking on, and it's a fight worth fighting for. And so, we just got to talking about that. I said, well, what got you involved in that organization? And he told me, and I said, well, how does that make you feel? And he just said, it's a divisive country. This country's divided, but on this issue, he said, there's nobody can stand against me. Yeah. And and I saw his passion. He's a very passionate man, and a very blunt man, and he's a very direct man. So he was telling me all about it, and that was a focal point of our conversation. And he was very open about it and told me I could just see it in his eyes that he has a desire for this group and this organization that he is an ambassador with now. So he's very passionate about it.
It's great to see people in the profile, in the spotlight that gets cast upon them when you're in the NFL. And Coach Tomlin's a real stand-up guy. Now, folks, Dale has written an article on this encounter that has a whole lot of detail, and we will put the link to that article in the description, of this video. So just kind of check down there once we get this done. One of the things that interested me is you said he's very passionate, but he also, during the press conference, he snapped at one guy.
He did. Yeah, Mike, he doesn't like, and I've been in a couple other conferences with him, he does not like hypotheticals. And they just come off a big win, and I'm not a Steelers fan, Bengals fan. I was just there to do some interviews. And a reporter asked me about a hypothetical situation about scuffles, because in the past the Bengals Steelers have had a little bit of rivalry, obviously, and there's little extracurricular activities go on. And this reporter asked him about some of the scuffling, and Tomlin said, I don't understand your question. And the guy says, well, sometimes you guys or the Bengals will get in a little bit of shoving matches. He goes, you know what? Ask me about something that happened in the game today. That guy kind of got the point that I better shut up.
Yeah. Well, he speaks with clarity, and he's a stand-up guy. And folks, you really ought to check out this article, because I did, and it's very inspirational. And it amazes me, like you said, Dale, the unity in such a divisive time as we're in. I get to experience this sometimes. Like, we just had a hurricane here in Florida.
Yeah.
And folks, I've worked in disaster relief for years and years. I won't go into all that, but I can testify this. Two things. One, hurricane or crisis tends to bring out the best and the worst in people. Well, Dale, competition does the same thing. That's what's so great about football.
Yeah.
In the heat of battle, when you're down by 1 point or up by one, when it gets tough out there, you really find out what people are made of. And Coach Tomlin has proven himself to be a stand-up guy in the heat of battle.
Yeah, he is, and he makes no bones about it, about his beliefs. He does claim to be a Christian. He's very vocal about it, and he's not preachy about it. But when he's asked about it, he'll tell you that God is my Savior. Proud of it. So, but he doesn't shove it down your throat. But he won't back down from it either.
There you go. Well, Dale, your ministry continues to inspire me and impress me. And Dale, for those of you who do not know Dale, you can find him on Twitter. I will it's actually on your screen now. You need to follow Dale, because he has made a ministry of finding those athletes in places of importance and places of position that have an inspirational, uplifting, and encouraging message. He is finding the heroes and putting the spotlight on them. Dale, I can't tell you how much that means to me, and how much athletes and coaches have meant to me growing up in my life, and they've just always been a source of strength and encouragement. Dale, keep doing what you're doing, brother, because you're on a task that I'm sure the Lord will say, "Well done, my good and faithful servant."
Well, thank you very much for this time. I really appreciate it.
All right. Well, folks, there we had another visit from Dale Didway, and I hope that we can do more, because he is finding really encouraging and uplifting stories in competition, in athletics, and things like that. So we hope to hear more from him, and thank you for tuning in right now, and we'll be back with more good stuff. Stay tuned. Subscribe to this channel.